What's going on, you guys? Wonderbrad here. Hope you guys are all doing well today. If you're just checking out the channel for the first time, which is probably a decent amount of you, we've just gained a bunch of subs in the last couple of days. So if this is your first video, just want to say thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoy. And, you know, if you're a long-time sub, then thanks for coming back. Really appreciate you guys. But today, Clash Royale just came out with the most recent balance change update announcement. That's what it is. The Mega Minion, first up, is getting a decent nerf, pretty big nerf. Damage decreased by 6%. Hit speed decreased from 1.4 second to 1.3. Yeah, I think that was right. But yeah, basically the reason for that was just that it was doing too much in too many decks. It was used in the ladder and tournaments, challenges, all sorts of stuff like that. Most overused card in the game by far. So they wanted to do a pretty substantial nerf to it to make other cards look more reliable on defense, because the Mega Minion is probably the best defensive card in the game as of right now. If you're watching this in a few days, maybe it's gone down in use a little bit. I don't know how much use it's going to go down, honestly. But it'll be kind of interesting to see, because just the way that it's in the air, only a few troops can actually hit it, because they have to hit air troops to hit it. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if its usage does go down a substantial amount. I don't know if it will, but yeah, we'll see. Elixir Collector is now having its production speed increased to 8.5 seconds from 9.8. So basically, the Clash Royale team just wanted to see people get a quicker return on investment of their Elixir, so that they could get their Elixir back faster, maybe get some more people using the Elixir Collector, because right now it's pretty underused. You barely see anyone using the Elixir Collector anymore, just because of the nerf that it got, where it has to cost one more elixir, but it still produces the 2 extra elixir. It's kind of weird that something that seemingly small could make that many people change their mind, because it was in practically every deck. It was like the Mega Minion of buildings, basically. Next up, we got the Poison Spell. Its damage is being increased to by 10%. After they removed the slow effect, they weren't happy with how many people weren't using the Poison Spell. Fireball usage has gone up like a pretty good amount, so they wanted to bring the poison back into the fold, adding some more damage to it. It'll be kind of interesting to see what that does for it. I think now that it's going to do more damage, it'll be pretty reliable, even though it doesn't do that same slowing effect. Next up, Tombstone spawn speed decreased from to 2.9 seconds from 2.5. So yeah, basically again, Tombstone is just used in a lot of decks right now. It's basically the only defensive card that you see. Maybe you'll see some Inferno Towers. I think I've seen some Bomb Towers too, but Tombstone is really relied on right now because of that skeletons. You can counter push with it. So I guess they figured that maybe decreasing the spawn speed is going to make some people use it a little less. Well, I'm guessing it'll make people use it a fair amount less, because 0.4 seconds is a pretty long time for spawning skeletons, but yeah, again, we'll see. And the last one, just a little one, Lava Pup's hit points decreased by 1%, just to fix some irregularities when they would interact with Crown Towers at certain levels. But yeah, that's been the balance changes update announcement from Clash Royale. Now let's get into some gameplay. Okay guys, so here we go. We got a Lumberjack going today. I know a lot of people have been asking me lately, Brad, come on, you gotta do some Lumberjack decks for us. We got these Lumberjacks, we got nothing to do with them. So yeah, I basically just went onto the leaderboards, checked out a deck, and kind of moved it around a little bit, and this is what I came up with. So it does have the Mega Minion inside that we can only use for a couple of more days, if, you know, it's nerfed as heavily as it could be. So yeah, we've got that in there. You can probably switch it out for 3 Elixir minions, maybe an Ice Wizard, a Princess, a Knight, something else 3 Elixir, or in that kind of area so that you can still use it. If you don't have the log, arrows or something like that will probably work pretty well. I'd recommend arrows before anything else, maybe a fireball. And there we go. We got the Lumberjack in here as well. We got the Giant, we got the Skarmy, we got some Archers in here as well. So yeah, this is the deck. I've played it once already in a Classic Challenge, and went on with a 3 crown win there. His cards were a little underleveled, I won't lie about that. But yeah, I mean, 3 crowns, a 3 crown in a challenge as well, so we're just going to get into it, kind of see what we can do with it. And yeah, I'm going to kind of break down the deck for you a little bit. I'm not saying I'm an expert on it because I've only played it once, but yeah, just kind of a fun deck, a little bit of change of pace using the Lumberjack, because you don't see a whole lot of those anymore. But first thing I put down was the Furnace. I would say that if you're playing tournament standards, make sure that you get your Furnace to level 7, because you're going to be playing basically all level 9s at that point, and you want those Fire Spirits being able to get to the opponent's tower. If your Furnace is slightly underleveled, I'd say run maybe a Tombstone for now, or a Defense if you're playing this in the next couple of days after the balance update. because you really do need that tombstone, or that furnace, sorry, to get all your troops to the tower. It's pretty important. It's kind of its main thing in the deck, is just doing that little bit of chip damage while also defending your tower. So if you want, also playing this on the ladder, if you want to play it on the ladder, make sure, like, if you're playing a bunch of level 10s, that your furnace is, like, level 8 or something like that, because you really do need fire spirits getting onto the tower. Okay, so this guy's going Expo. He's trying to, like, cheese me off here, get some pretty cheap damage onto me. Yeah, just got a Mega Minion that. He's got an Ice Spirit in there as well. So he's doing some pretty solid damage, honestly. And there's nothing I can really do to shut this down. Our Mega Minion did take out his, which I'm not really sure why. But I'm going to go Giant and Lumberjack here. And just hopefully, he's a little bit short on Elixir right now. I'm thinking he might be because of that Expo 6 Elixir. And if we can get that Giant to the tower, get a little bit of a rage effect on him, that might be pretty solid right there. So he's late on the Inferno Tower. I'm guessing he either had it out of cycle or just didn't have enough Elixir for it. And that is how good the Lumberjack Giant combo can be. It's probably the best wombo combo in the game right now, taking his tower down to 776. So, we know he's got the Expo, we know he's got the Fireball. I'm going to put a preemptive Furnace up there, even though he's probably going to Fireball that. I'd rather see him Fireball that than my Skeleton Army, honestly, or my Archers, or anything that's going to be a little more important to my pushes. So I'm going to go Mega Minion at the back. We know he's wanted to put the Expo down. We know he's pretty desperate for that. But let's see. Okay, so he's just taking that down. I'm going to go Giant and Lumberjack here. Hopefully the Expo locks onto something. And it locks onto those. That's interesting. I'm going to Skarmy the Expo, take it down pretty quickly. I'm just going to zap his Skarmy as well. Rage effect going down on the Giant, and that is all you need. Ladies, what happened to my Skarmy? I just completely, like, forgot what I was saying there, because I was like, oh yeah, I'll just put my Skarmy down, and all of a sudden it was, like, gone. I'm not sure if he logged it or something. But yeah, apparently the Skarmy, the invisible assassins, because they were gone in a second. Okay, so Ice Spirit Expo coming down. Kind of expected that. Oh, probably used the zap on my Skarmy. That's probably what he did. So he's got the Mega Minion as, like, guys, come on. You can see that I'm using the Mega Minion, he's using the Mega Minion, everybody is using the Mega Minion. It's just so strong right now. I've also got the Archers in this deck, the Skarmy, the Log, like a bunch of other stuff that's really good in the meta right now. You mix it all into one deck, and chances are, you're going to do pretty good with it. So there we go. First win of the day. Feeling pretty good for the video. I've only played one match today, so it's kind of nice when you can just kind of wake up and start winning some matches. It feels pretty good. So there we go. We're 2-0 against Thiago Silva from Coleção Bruto. But here we go. I'm not thinking I'm going to rush on with Lumberjack pretty early. It does do 200 damage a shot, which is absolutely crazy. Like, it's just 4 Elixir, you get a Rage Spell, you get 200 damage per shot. It's a really strong card, but people just haven't found, like, a really solid use for it so far in the meta. I'm not really too sure why. I think it's because decks are more slow-paced right now, and the Lumberjack is kind of a fast-paced card. It's kind of weird because he is a fast-paced card, but he fits into, like, these slower decks, like these beatdown decks. So, yeah, it's kind of weird that he hasn't really fit into any decks so far. Maybe just because people don't have enough Lumberjacks collected yet. I don't know. Maybe in the future we'll see some Lumberjack gameplay coming back as more people start to get the Lumberjack. Okay, so far, we've done nothing to his tower, he's done nothing to ours, so we are at a bit of a stalemate. I'm gonna go Mega Minion there, and let's see. I've got my Giant at the back, he's got a Musketeer. One thing this deck is kind of missing is like a killing spell, like a lightning spell or a fireball or something that's super high DPS, and can take out like Musketeers and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go Giant Lumberjack there, see if we can do a pretty hefty amount of damage to his... Keep on forgetting he's got the Inferno Tower, so I'm just going to zap that, and hopefully those Archers and the Lumberjack combo can take it out. Let's see. So Giant's still at, like, half health, which is pretty solid. We get the Rage Spell there. That was a completely wasted log. That was awful. Like, sometimes I make really good plays here, but then I make those stupid plays with, like, logs and stuff where I just either completely miss the troops. Like, if you guys have the log, you've probably done this before, where you just, like, you have a kind of a fast troop coming towards your tower, like a mini P.E.K.K.A., and you put the log down, and it just goes completely over top. And you're just like, why do I even try? Why do I even... Maybe that's just me, but I don't know. I've done it a few times, so I'm hoping that some other people have done it too. But let's see. We did a pretty solid amount of damage to his tower in that last push. We did, or even more with the Skarmy. Under 200. Oh my goodness, skeletons do so much damage. It's so good. So I'm going to do this here. I'm going to go Archers there. I'm going to put a Lumberjack onto the Hog Rider. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to push this lane now with the Giant because this is, the other tower's within like 2 log range, I guess. And if I zap this here as well, I can do that. I can, I'm gonna scar me there, honestly. I don't know if he has too many other spells that are gonna be able to take me down. He's got that Inferno Tower there. He's got the Zap. I should probably have been paying attention for that. Kind of stupid that I haven't been, but let's see. I'm gonna go Mega Minion here, because Mega Minion, super strong right now. I'm gonna log that. A couple of barbs coming down, and I am going to... Let's see, I'm going to let him fireball that. We've only got 28 DPS left on his tower, so I'm thinking Giant there to distract the Musketeer. I'm going to go Furnace on the other side, so it pulls the Hog Rider, and also the Fire Spirits could be able to take down his tower. If not, we've got a Zap spell ready. And yeah, there we go. 2 seconds, 1 second, zap it down, and take the win there, guys. This deck is working right now. I don't know if it's just because it's like earlier in a classic challenge, so the opponents might not be quite as good, but the cards in it seem pretty good. Like the Lumberjack, the Giant, the Skarmy, the Archers, the Mega Minion, the Log. There's some really good cards in this deck. Again, the Furnace, just to start off the game, pretty annoying because you have to constantly stop the Fire Spirits. They come down, you put like Skeletons down, boom, you take 1 elixir. They put Archers down the next time, 3 elixir. So you just made it back in like two times down the floor, or the, whatever you want to call it, the arena. For basically nothing, for putting down 4 elixir at the beginning of a match, because you had nothing else to put down. So I'm going to zap those, take down the Archers, get the Archers on the Lava Hound. I actually haven't played a Lava Hound deck yet, so I'm kind of interested to see how this does. I'm going to have to log those there. I forgot the name of them, the Spear Goblins. Can't forget about those, because those guys can be the real MVPs in some game. They do some good cooking on the arena, good cooking, make some great eggs, some great toast, some great bacon. It's pretty good. So he's going to put a Musketeer down there. I'm going to scar me that, just because I don't really have too much else to put down on it. And hopefully we can, you know, maybe do a little bit of splash damage with that 1 Fire Spirit coming down on his tower, and obviously not. That's okay, Go. That's okay. Let's see now. Kind of resetting here. We've got a pretty good amount of elixir. I'm not too sure how much he has. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever tried counting elixir before, like counting your opponent's elixir. It's so unbelievably hard. Like, you're going and you get like one trade, I guess. Like, you go down one side of the arena, he comes back onto the other side, and you're like, oh yeah, I got this. And then you completely forget what your opponent's at. You're like, this isn't as easy. Like, you hear about all these pros that can count elixir, and then you start trying, and it's so hard. Maybe I'm just not that smart, but I find it really hard. But anyways, we took his tower down with our push. That was easier than I thought it would be, honestly. We just put a Giant down, put a couple of Archers behind, and boom, there goes the tower. It was gone. It was disappearing before he could even say goodbye. But here we go, Musketeer coming in, Ice Spirit as well. These are the times where you kind of wish you had like a lightning spell when the Musketeer and the Ice Wizard are right by the tower. But it's okay, we're not going to worry about it too much because we got that 1 tower advantage right now. So here we go, looking at what he's doing, which is nothing at this point. We got a Giant coming down though, and I think this is going to be where we make our big game-winning push here. I'm going Mega Minion here, and I'm going to sneak this Lumberjack in front of the Giant as soon as he crosses to the other side of the bridge. So I'm going to zap, oh my goodness, okay, I'm going to zap that there, I'm going to put those down there, I'm going to put some Archers in behind, and that Giant gets onto the tower, but the Lumberjack gets distracted. Lumberjacks, they got their eyes everywhere. They're always looking for something else to be doing in the arena. They like to party, they like to have some fun, and apparently joining up with the push doesn't add up with that. So yeah, this guy, I'm not sure if he had the Miner in this deck at all. You kind of want the Miner in most Lava Hound decks, even though I have shown off some Lava Hound decks that haven't had the Miner and that have worked pretty well. But yeah, there we go. We're going 3-0 today. That's pretty solid. And this guy he had a pretty good deck, honestly. A Lava Hound deck with some maxed out minions, maxed out Archers, and an Ice Wizard. So, I mean, you can't say this deck isn't working against really good decks. Guys, if you have the Lumberjack, you have to try this deck out. Again, I told you some of the cards earlier that you could switch out for the Log. You could switch out the arrows. If you don't have your Furnace up to max, maybe try a Tombstone or an Inferno Tower or a Defense. Something that keeps it kind of low elixir, but still keeps the deck good. You got the Archers in there, you got the Skarmy just for some added defense and damage. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed this deck and this video. If you did, subscribe for more in the future if you have not already, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.